Well, it's finally the day we get to watch The Brutalist in IMAX in theaters here in Boise, and I can't tell you how excited I am to finally get to see this movie. That's right. A little bit different setting, a little bit different setup today because we're going to be trying to do an intermission recap. Going to give it a little bit more of a vlog style review of The Brutalist. This movie that could be a frontrunner for Oscar Best Picture, is A24's kind of best chance at the Oscars to win any type of awards, whether it's Adrien Brody for Best Actor, Brady Corbet for the director, the movie itself for the whole entire Best Pictures. We'll see where this movie ranks overall for me, but I'm excited to get to see this. And yeah, I figured why not be fun today, give something a little bit different for the channel. Let's turn this into more of a vlog style to where I'll try to sneak out during the intermission, do a quick short recap of the first half of the movie, and then maybe find a cool spot out there to do a just review for the second half of the movie. But let's just get into The Brutalist. I will see you here at the intermission. So, we are at the intermission now of The Brutalist, and there's a few things I gotta say off the bat. First up, the score is absolutely stunning. From the opening spots of the movie, which honestly, the opening is chilling and just great overall, to just the moments of hope and the moments of inspiration for Laszlo, this Jewish architect from Budapest that has escaped into America during World War II, post-World War II, and kind of his reasons and struggles in accepting his spot in the American world and where he's going through. Adrien Brody is absolutely stunning so far. The range of emotions and the range of just aspects of his character is actually outstanding. I'm trying to do this in a way that doesn't have the... That's better. Absolutely in love with that part of the movie right now. What else can I say? I am loving Guy Pearce so far. I can see the makings of why people are calling him a villain in this movie, and the fact that he's a very rich businessman that loves getting what he wants. And I think Guy Pearce is playing amazingly. The cinematography is actually pretty outstanding so far, too. Just beautifully shot. Brady Corbet as the director here. I can't believe how little this movie costs. This movie really does feel like it was made in like the 70s during the era of like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now. It just has that classic epic feel. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm, seeing where the story is going with Laszlo and him building this community center and is, going to be obviously an interesting turn. And as somebody who grew up in Pennsylvania, has family in Pennsylvania, the parts of the movie talking about Pennsylvania as this great state, and how much people like my great grandparents and ancestors came from the Czechoslovakian and Polish areas, not Jewish but Catholic during that time period. And it just really encapsulates a lot of just personal connection for me. I was not expecting this or not knowing this about the movie. I'm really enjoying it so far. It does have a little bit of slow points, I'm not going to lie. I can see maybe where the struggles are coming in. Obviously, Felicity Jones so far has just been kind of a narrating voice, and I love how we're not seeing her character until that intermission picture that comes up of their Laszlo and her's wedding. But her narration and going over what's happening so far, I found really interesting and really engaging. I've just really been enjoying this grounded, real story. I don't believe this is based in any reality. I think this is fully original, but it's just hitting all the notes that I like so far. I'm kind of sad to see articles like the Variety article talk about are people finishing The Brutalist. I know this might not be as engaging and the pacing isn't as fast as, say, something like Wicked that's also almost a 3-hour movie, but there's something special going on here so far. And Brady Corbet, as a director, is giving outstanding shots, outstanding just editing overall. I've really been enjoying The Brutalist in this first half, and I can't wait to see where this ends up going throughout and hopefully see the finished work. I love that they're choosing to tease things like what's the sunlight in the cross going to look like. I'm hoping in the second half that gets fulfilled in this community building that he's making. And, Adrian Brody cannot say enough about his just level of acting in this movie so far. But that's going to be it for me in the intermission point here. We'll come back at the end and do a full-on review of The Brutalist and give my kind of overall thoughts, see what my ranking is. This is going to be on the 2025 Joshkers, so this is definitely going to be an epic movie if it is able to deliver a good second half as it did the first half. Then I think we'll see where my overall score and rankings lie. I definitely think if you're on the fence about going to see this movie, especially with the 3+ hour runtime, don't be afraid of it. I think so far, at least for me, if you're an enjoyer of movies and want something that feels original and grounded and just masterful and, not commercialized, The Brutalist is delivering on that pretty hardcore. Interested to see where the opium and the drug angle goes. It's definitely playing in the background for Laszlo. Definitely worried if that has its downturn, but cannot wait to see Felicity Jones as she's brought to America to reconnect with her husband, to see where this story goes and check in with you after. But yeah, just got to get back into the theater here, and I will see you after the intermission, so see you then.
To endure such erosion of shoreline.
I brought you all out here to join me in looking forward toward the future.
What do you think?
It's unusual, even for you.
All right, we are now out of The Brutalist. The second half of the movie has happened. I got to see the wonderful Felicity Jones as, Laszlo's wife, and her just utmost powerful performance through the whole entire movie, and her journey per se kind of mirroring Laszlo's, I just thought was probably the highlight of the second half of the movie. I do worry that Felicity Jones might get missed for Oscar nominations if people aren't watching the second half of this movie, because her performance as a supporting character is this whole entire second half, and it's what makes the movie work in this major epic of a movie. The Brutalist is just this interesting tale of just figuring out what exactly happened through Laszlo and changed him as an individual, and the things that he had to coming to grip with, and the pains and the traumas that he's had over time, whether it's the opioid addiction, whether it's the sins that he has done, that he feels like he might have been unfaithful to his wife, to the unimaginable, despicable acts that happened from Mr. Van Buren and him while in Italy. Guy Pearce is outstanding throughout as, Harrison Van Buren. I do wish there was a little bit more closure on his character per se, but the ending that him and Felicity Jones has at the Van Buren residence was really just haunting and strong, and really put together what was my least favorite component of The Brutalist itself. I wasn't sure where we were going with the Van Buren storyline after an incident happens about 2/3 of the way through the movie, because what feels like it's a movie kind of about immigration, and it definitely is immigration in the dream, definitely has some parallels and some story tones about what it's like to be used, and the rich using the less fortunate to benefit themselves. Adrian Brody as Laszlo throughout was an outstanding character, and as somebody you sympathize with, as somebody you demonize, as somebody that you feel for and also despise at points. The way he treats people is a little bit egotistical and wrong, and the difficulties that Adrian Brody brings out of the Laszlo in the more intimate and more delicate moments, as well as some of the more just distraught emotional moments, is just a masterful performance. Brody takes this young looking, happy to be surviving the Holocaust type individual, Laszlo we meet at the very beginning, somebody when you see the Statue of Liberty in that opening shot, and takes him on this amazing, incredible journey through his life and through the struggles and unstruggles he's had, whether it's through Van Buren, whether it's through his cousin in Philadelphia, whether it's with his intimate relationship with his wife and his family. Brody delivers what could be an Oscar-winning and definitely would be an Oscar-worthy winning performance as Laszlo here. Corbet's direction throughout is outstanding. I love some of the shots that were taking place, the way the camera was moving, the cinematography, the score, again, like I said in the first half, epic. I do feel, if I had to be some criticisms, I do feel the story does lose a little bit of my interest or, that glow in the second half, and that might be on point for Corbett when it comes to The Brutalist, and you can't, get upset about that. The movie does have a great epilogue end that I really think puts a stamp overall on The Brutalist and what it wants to be. And yeah, this is a movie that is kind of showing the life of Laszlo at post his American run and the difficulties and all of the things that happened to him throughout. I just cannot imagine anybody else besides Adrian Brody and Brady Corbet telling this story. It's amazing seeing throughout what they're able to achieve here in this movie. The performances from Guy Pearce and Felicity Jones were outstanding, as well as people like Joe Ellen in the movie, I thought delivered outstanding performances throughout. This is a deep thinking watch. This isn't going to be, I think, as positively remembered and as fondly to be able to be watched again, especially, the second half of the movie compared to movies, say, like The Godfather and others out there. But The Brutalist truly is an epic movie that is going to be having a big place in our award season, but I do worry that because of its story and its length, it's going to turn off potential some voters, and it might not get there when it comes to Best Picture. As far as myself, sitting through all 3.5 hours, I had a great time for what The Brutalist was. The epicness of the score, I think, worked extremely well. I kind of wish there was more positive, uplifting moments for that, but I don't think that's what the story was trying to tell. And the epilogue sealed me a hard, amazing score on this in terms of my overall quality. I would give this, on my rating scale, an easy diamond. This is something that I think is one of the best of the best. I can see why it's on top of so many people's Oscar ballots and predictions, including my own going into this without even seeing it, and I think it could be a very big award player. I don't know if it's as good as I thought it was going to be, but that doesn't mean that the diamond level still isn't there, and it still isn't worthy of being a Best Picture overall contender. As far as if this is in my top 100 of all time, I think right now I would put it there at the moment. I would give it the top 100 of all time certification. But if I'm comparing it to the movies I saw that were in my Joshkers last year, I would probably tuck this one right in between, like, Wicked and the Wild Robot at number 4 overall for my year. I really enjoyed Conclave and Anora more, but that's my take on The Brutalist right now. Are you going to see this 3.5-hour epic in theaters? If so, tell me in the comments down below. Did you enjoy this more vlog style, video that I did? I'm going to go ahead and rewatch Wicked here right now. It comes on in about 20 or so minutes, so I look forward to rewatching that in theaters again here, and maybe we'll do a Northern night after dinner. All the Oscar movies were supposed to come into theaters this week because it was supposed to be Oscar nominations yesterday, but that comes Thursday, which means on Wednesday you'll get my prediction video out in the morning, and we'll have more talk coverage throughout the rest of this week in short form and try and figure out what's going to happen with this Oscar season, who's going to get nominated, who are the potential surprises, and I'm just happy to finally see The Brutalist. It's a crime that A24 didn't try having this out sooner. I know they want to try to give it this Oscar award season nomination push, but this is a good enough movie. This could have came out at the beginning of December and filled a void for a lot of people, but that's going to be it for me here. I don't know if you can hear that plane. It's going right above me. I apologize if you do, but I will see you all around in a future video somewhere else.